find out about where the areas that are turning over a lot. Your town might be good, your section might be good. So the way you would do that is by simply going to your analysis and doing an absorption report by town. And if you look at, let's say Union County, for instance, we can go 6 months back, we can go 12 months back, and we'll just put here today's date. Good morning. How are you? Oh, we just got started. Okay, so if you go in a few months back, you're going to see here where it says this is the absorption report for all of Union County by town. Okay, so what this tells you is how many actives there are now, how many solds there have been in the last 6 months, how many average sales there are per month, and this is the average supply. This is the average supply that's on the market right now. So this tells you how much inventory is on the market. So, for instance, the lower the supply, I'm going to give you guys an example. The lower the supply, the better of a seller's market it is, right? It's the law of supply and demand. The higher your supply, the more of a buyer's market it is. So, for instance, you see towns like Elizabeth, or you see like maybe Plainfield was a high supply of inventory. But you also have to look at, you see this number here, this is just the month of supply, but you also have to look at how much stuff is turning over. So you might have a town that has a high supply rate. Yeah?
Yeah, Lou, I'm sorry, we just wanted to catch up.
Yeah.
In order to pull up the report, we just select the county and then the date.
You can go 6 months and 12 months, but you don't really have to do that along with me. You can just look up here. This is why
I can't see.
Oh, you can't see? They'll do a screen share with you if you want. You don't want to slide over? Maybe you can see better? Next to Katie? Or you're blind?
I'm a little bit both.
Yeah, I came from the gym. I smell a little bit. Gary.
Here, I'll put a screen share with you so you can see
Okay.
it.
That was our homework, right?
Yes, sir.
You found the wherever did you choose?
I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. What's the part?
What's up?
By the one guy that I know. Is he still around?
Who?
That one person.
Who's that?
That's a Russell Park.
Who's that?
He's not. I don't know.
The guy.
The
That
guy?
guy.
Are you getting an invitation to see him? Okay.
So what's the name?
Check your email. You can see what I'm doing. See it? Alright. Just mute yourself, okay? Mute. Muted it? Did you mute it?
On your keyboard, your keyboard.
Okay. Awesome. Alright, sorry about that, guys. I'll show you this again. Alright, so you guys see that your absorption report is created here. Right, when you first log into the MLS, you can see where it says analysis. You go down to your absorption report, and then you can go pick a county, and then you can leave if you have a listing presentation in a certain town like Linden or Kenilworth. You may want to just pick that town so you can show them, hey, listen, this is what's going on in this marketplace. So once you do that, we're just doing it now to figure out where we want to work. So once we do this, we're going to see what inventory there is. So why I say look at this before you pick a farm area is because you want to know what to expect. If you have a town like, let's say, Garwood here that has 6 actives, 17 solds in the last 6 months, that's not a lot of inventory. So if you're going to farm an area, you're going to see there's going to be a lot less activity than there would be in a different town. Let's say, for instance, like maybe Berkeley Heights, who has 88 solds in the last 6 months, or something like this, where you go to Union Township and you have 315 sold in the last 6 months. So, you know, the price points may be lower, but there's more activity, you know, so it's really dependent on you guys. Now, I suggest everyone farms their neighborhood, like their little mail carrier route, just because you have the added advantages. If you ever do get a phone call, it's pretty much in the bag, like you know everything about that area. No one knows it better than you. But if you're picking a separate area where you want to farm as well, because maybe you want to be known in that area also, make sure you look at these numbers and see where it makes sense for you to go farm. If there's a low supply, you know that property's going to move pretty fast. If there's a high supply, you know you're going to have to be aggressive on your pricing strategy. So this gives you a lot of information too when you go and try to beat up a homeowner when they're out of this world too high on their price. So this is more ammunition. These are more facts you can use. Okay. Any questions on this, guys? So this is pretty simple. All right. All right. Once you've picked that, you want to go to your EDDM page. For those of you who don't know what that is, that's every door direct mail. Okay. U.S. Postal Service. You use this mapping tool. Scott, where's the property? The property that we're doing EDDM for? Which one is it? Leo Street? Which one is it?
Leo, 613 Leo Street.
613 Leo Street. Since we have a property that we want to do a campaign on, we got the address, we put it in there, and now we know that it's located right here. So there's two mail carrier routes that this could possibly be in. There's this mail carrier route here that says that it has 514 total addresses. 506 of them are residential and 8 of them are businesses. There's a way for you guys to eliminate businesses too if you don't want, but business owners buy houses too, so I don't know why you would want to take it out. You can either pick this mail carrier route or you can pick this mail carrier route. This one has 197 residential, 13 businesses. So you may want to think about which area is better for you, or you can pick both. It depends on what you guys want to do, how much you want to spend, how much time you want to dedicate to it. But for sure, this area right here looks like a decent one. What do you think? This one up at the top. All right. So we highlight this and we look at this. We look at this mail carrier route at the top. Right. The mail carrier route says zip code. You guys see up top left where it says route. Zip code - C like Charlie 006. So we need to remember that last 4-digit code, and then we go back into our realist. The only way you're going to get into realist, guys, and it's going to work for you, is if you use New Jersey MLS. We just tried it, and Middlesex MLS has realist, but they don't have all the attributes that you need. So what we're going to do now is we're going to log into realist account. The one I have here is mine, which somebody took the liberty of using all our data for this month in the last few days, so I'm going to change that password. And if you guys need it, just let us know, we'll get it for you. Okay, so I'm going to log out and log into a new one. So I can show you. Yes. Okay. So once you log into the NJMLS, you're going to see this tab right here on the right hand side. This is realist. Then you're going to use the My Search, and this is for anyone who wants to get on New Jersey MLS. This is a good reason to do that. It's not that expensive. Here we can create a new search. So if we want to, we can add a new, create a new search. Okay. So I'm going to pick location information. I'm going to pick mail carrier route, and I'm going to pick city. And hit save. And we're going to name it something. We're going to call it local info. Save. All right, so we got now called local info. So the mail carrier route was C006, and the city was Hillside, right? All right, we're going to search that, and we're going to come up with this data. All of these addresses right here. There should be about 500 addresses according to what EDDM said. Yep, there's 481. All right, so it's pretty close. So what we do now is we take this information and we export it. We hit customize, I'm sorry. And then we want the information like address, municipality. So this is that's gonna mess you up a little bit. We're gonna want location info. We're gonna want city, okay, property city. We're gonna want zip code, which is right here. And we're also gonna want the owner's name, so that would be under owner information. Let's see.
Owner name?
It should just say male owner's name, not. Oh, here it is.
On the left side,
Owner's
yeah.
name, owner's name. Okay, perfect. So now that we got these 5 items that we're gonna need to run our search, we just go to export. As you can see here, guys, on the left, it says you're allowed 7,000 per month. So if you guys need this data, just let me know what areas you want. I just want you to prepare a list and we'll pull it for you guys, because we're only limited to 7,000. I can go pretty fast. So this export's gonna use 481. Right, so I'm gonna export that now. Don't worry, I'm recording the screen. You can watch this later.
Yes.
Alright. Once I've done this, I'm gonna open up a spreadsheet in Google Drive. For those of you who don't know spreadsheets, please get comfortable with them because these things will make your life very easy. This is, what's the address, 513 Leo?
613.
613? Okay. This thing for some reason is still downloading the list, just let's give it a few seconds. Once we get that information, that's probably because I'm running so many things on my computer right now. Once we have this list, all we're gonna do is upload it here, see, or download it, okay? So once we have it open, we're gonna go to import, upload, drag it, or you can upload it however you want to do it. It's gonna go to append current sheet, import data. Right, now we have it. Now, the rule is this, guys, write this down. It has to be zip code first, I'm sorry, it's city first, city zip, sorry, so it's property city, city first, then zip code, then, oh, there's one column I forgot, which was state. I can just add that in real quick, I apologize about that. It'll be state. I needed property, city, zip, state, right? So let's just put in state. And J. You shouldn't have to do it like this. I just forgot to add that attribute because mine already programmed in. I just had to redo it again for the other account I logged into. That's awesome.
It's so much fun.
Okay, cool. I don't care about those. Okay, all right, we're good now. So we've got our list almost ready. So the next thing I said was state. So it would be city, zip, state. Oh, I have municipality here again. I don't know why. Let me just delete this. I knew something was. Okay, and then it's address and name. Okay, so we've got that city, zip, state, address, and name. Now we download this info as a CSV file. Now we've got the data we need. You send that to Jolie and myself. We pull the data for you, have it back within an hour. There's really nothing more to it. I mean, it's very simple. You guys just have to take the time to practice it a few times, and then we'll get it right for you. So any questions on this guy? Pretty simple, right? I'm gonna get this list for you. I'll have it for you today. Yes?
Okay, you said get this to you and then you'll get it back to, what is the difference between?
So I'm gonna get this list back to you with 3 phone numbers per house. So once you have this data back with 3 numbers per house, you just upload it into your Mojo dialer, and then from there you can make the calls and just tell everybody, hey, I got a new listing on 613 Leo Street. Just wondering if you know anybody who might be interested in buying. Oh, you don't? Oh, well, I have you on the phone. Have you ever considered buying or selling? And they might say, you know what, I was thinking about selling the house in June. Give me a call then. So it's a good way to kind of start the conversation and the dialogue. it's, you know, it's better than just calling up and saying, hey, I'm a real estate agent with no business, can you give me some? You know, it's better, it's much better than doing that. So, yeah,
Does Mojo have a robo dollar? Like you can record a recording and then send it out, and when somebody answers the phone, and just your voice will come up and say,
it doesn't have a robo dial, but it does have a message that is played for them if someone answers the phone while you're on the phone with someone
"Oh,
else.
that's okay,
Yeah, and that would just it would just sound like you can't hear them at the moment,
okay."
and then you call them back because you have a bad signal, and then you call them, and then it routes you right back to that person when
Right.
you're done. So that's that was pretty much it. Does anyone have a question or anything for you? Anybody?
No,
You know why you would do this?
to concentrate in the area.
Yeah, so you have an open house coming up. Alejandra did it the other day. She called everybody in the area for the open house. She got an offer from someone. It's a little low, but at least she knows that somebody in the area is
Yeah.
looking to buy, you know? So she just called a few hundred numbers. That was it. I have a client who is looking for a house for their daughter because she goes to Seton Hall and they're paying an arm and a leg for housing. So they say, why don't we just buy a house and rent the rooms out to girls? And then my daughter can have the room as well. So now they picked out a whole bunch of streets that they want. They're like, look, we only want these streets because South Orange, if anybody knows, a couple of streets in the wrong direction could be, you know, pretty bad for a girl. Exactly. So they gave me the exact streets. So what I did is I went and I picked out the mail carrier routes, and I did the same thing, downloaded the data, and I gave it to one of the agents for them to start dialing that area just to call and say, hey, listen, well, someone who's really interested in my house, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
So that's why you would use things like this for open houses, for new listings, and most importantly, for sold listings. People forget when they collect that paycheck, like, oh, good, we got my paycheck, move on to the next deal. No, that's the biggest opportunity you have out of all the situations, because once you sell something, you call everybody up and tell them, listen, I just sold this house. Even if it wasn't your listing, if it was, let's just say, someone else's listing, you sold it, you can call and spread it out to everybody. Even if you're a brand new agent, and you haven't sold anything, and that wasn't even your sale, but someone from your office sold it, just call them up and be like, hey, listen, my office just sold this house on 123 Main Street. You know, have you ever thought about selling yours? We got $660 for this one. You know, so it's a good way to show people that like you get things done. It's better than just saying, hey, listen, you guys, mind giving me some business and have no other dialogue to go off of. So these are all opportunities for you guys to really get the business going. So if no more questions on this, guys, I'll take any questions that you guys have any
How much
uncertainty on.
do you know how much it would cost to
What?
do EDDM?
Well, if you do direct mail, how much is it up to now, Ella, for the postage?
We were just looking at
I think
our
it's
postage.
like 30 something cents probably per card, for
I
a
forget how much
postcard.
it is. I was just checking right now. So 700. I was gonna do 700 mailings,
Mhm.
and it was charging me 125.
Does it?
Just for the postage.
Yeah.
And then for the actual postcard, Stanley and I were looking at it, and it was for 1,000. It was charging us 175
For EDDM?
for EDDM.
Well,
The size
they
was-
actually make the postcard too?
Oh no, they don't make the postcard. It was what was the website?
So through Canva, we designed the postcards,
Yeah.
right? But if you want to, Canva offers to send you them,
Mhm.
right? So like for 500, it was what, like 500 something dollars, almost
Yeah.
$600.
Or Canva does that too? Because
Yeah.
I've always done my design on Canva
Yeah.
and then uploaded it to Vistaprint.
Exactly. So we were checking.
So-
Canva is super expensive.
Yeah.
So we were just looking at different websites. So there was
I
next
think-
day flyers.
Yeah, I think
There
on
was a
Vistaprint
few
you get the EDDM price.
That for 1,000, they charged you about 200,
Mhm.
compared to Canva's like
Well,
Yeah.
600 for 500.
it's a big difference.
So you get more and you pay less
Yeah,
if
they
you.
give you the design for free, but charge you
Yeah.
on the way out.
Just give me the design.
Yeah.
Just give me the design for it.
Yeah, all right, that's good. Any other questions on anything, guys? Anything at all? Like, what's on your mind? What do you want to
I
know
just
more?
got a, it's a very simple question, but like, I want to know the difference between like Realist, GLMLS, NJMLS.
Okay, well, Realist is a tax search engine. So there's a couple MLSs that use Realist for their tax information. New Jersey MLS and Middlesex MLS use that data for it. Now that's a good topic to be on right now. So let's go to Realist, right? What is Realist, right? So Realist is really cool. Anyone give me an address? Spirit, give me an address.
25 Wayne
77 East
Boulevard,
Grand.
20 Wayne Boulevard,
Boulevard,
town.
Madison.
Okay. Why this is good when you guys start to want to find out more data about a person, so let's just say you get on the phone with someone.
My name came up.
Let's just say when you get on the phone with someone and you want to know, okay, well, this person wants to sell their house with me, right? Okay, when did they buy it? How much did they buy it for? How many mortgages have they taken out? Are they current on their mortgage? Is their house in a flood zone? All that data, all that information is all right here. So let's just jump into the flood zone thing real quick because I mentioned it just now. If I want to find out about a flood area, this is the most accurate way to find out if it's in a flood zone other than looking at FEMA's maps. And those are really hard to read. As you can see here, anything in an X zone means it's not in a flood zone, so you're good to go here. As you can see, this guide right here at the bottom tells you what to be careful with. Obviously, the ones that you want to stay away from are the ones that are all the way to the left. These coastal and the purple ones are pretty bad. You'll see more of the purple ones in our areas because we're not by the coast. So these, I wish I had those here for that. You would see these are going to be a big problem. Now, these yellow ones are still going to be in flood zones, but they're not as common to flood, so your insurance there is going to be cheaper. And these orange ones are the ones where you really want to make sure that you're buying if you're investing or if your client is looking to buy. Anything else, it's going to have to be, something that they know about already. Because a lot of people who move to Cranford, for instance, they know it's a flood area, but I still want to move to Cranford because it's a great area. The schools are good and all this stuff.
Right.
So you just want to look here before you move on. You bring a lot of value that way when you show your clients that you're good for something. Okay. All right. So property details. If I want to know more about 25 Wayne Boulevard, I would just scroll down and I see who the owners are, and I can see a lot of information here. I can see the square footage of the house, if you guys are ever on the fence about how big the home is. It also tells you the year that it was built, approximate lot size. I don't always go based off of this stuff where it says residential or single family, because a lot of times it says single family into multi, so that I wouldn't really trust it. I would definitely call a tax assessor on that. Okay, and then down here you see mortgage history. Mortgage history tells you when the person purchased the house. I'm sorry, when they took out the mortgages on the house. And you can see how many mortgages have been taken out over the years. I hope I'm not getting into your business, David.
I'm looking like,
Some of these people,
I don't remember that one.
yeah, no, these are...
where did that come from?
Gloria O'Connor, she's the one who, I guess, sold it to you. So she had a long history of mortgages in her day.
Okay, that's what I was looking at.
But she's got pages and pages of mortgages. So
His face.
if you
Wait, time out. I need to print that out.
so you can get a lot of information from here. All right, you can get even comparable data. I wouldn't trust the comps that much here because obviously anything that's automated is not that great. Market trends. If you want to go to a listing presentation and you want to show them what's going on in their neighborhood, this is a good little graph to show them. Neighbors. These are your neighbors, and this is what their properties look like, and what their properties, how they match up to the one that you have. Okay. Your neighborhood profile. I can't remember exactly what this is.
KB's like, can you blur it out to protect the innocent?
I know my neighbor. Okay.
Okay. So this is some demographic information, which is really good as well. You get to see the median age. You get to find out a lot about the area. So let's just say you get a call on a house and you don't know much about the town. You can study these facts and know a lot more than local agents will know when you go there. You go there and you say, look, I know that the median age for Madison is 36 years old. How many agents there locally would know that, or number of households there are in the town, or the median income even. I'm sure you could find here somewhere. So let's see. So this is the age groups. How many divorced, separated, married couples there are. Really good graph.
If you're single,
Education level's pretty high. Like obviously because anyone who lives in Madison is super wealthy, super.
not everyone.
Very wealthy. Alright, so this is good stuff. I mean, look, this is the weather even there. You guys want to be curious about the weather.
It's better weather than Madison.
Imagine if you show up to a listing appointment and was like, I know that in January the average temperature is 38.7 degrees. And you got the
You
listing.
still look crazy about
You got the listing. All right, the household income, median household income, the highest amount of people in that town are earning between $150,000 to $200,000 a year. So that's good information to know. KB falls in this category here, over 500,000. There you go. And assessor's map. If you want to find out without getting a survey, this is one step outside of a survey. If you don't want to get a survey, you want to find out what your lot actually looks like. You download this assessor's map,
Oh, yeah.
okay? And you try to find, it's not going to have a pin drop where his house is, but it's going to be your responsibility to look for Wayne Street. I'm not sure if I'm going in the right direction. Sorry. That was back in. Oh, Wayne's down here, right? All right, so you'd be over here somewhere?
Yeah, right there.
Okay. Only problem is it's very slow when you try to track through it. Okay. We'll speed this up on a video.
I'll blur your name out.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like our subject homeowner lives here somewhere, right? What lot is yours? 21, 22? Which one is it?
21.
21, okay. So we know that his frontage is 25. His rear lot is 112 feet wide, and then his depth is 117 on this side and 110 on that side. So, I mean, look, if a homeowner would tell you, hey, listen, how big is my lot, and they didn't get a survey, this is great information for them to know. Or if they have sometimes this will even show easements, it'll show a lot of different things. Yeah, so these are really good things. You know, if you want to find out, you know, a lot of information for that property, a certain property, realist is your best friend. So you were also asking KB, like, what's the difference between MLSs? All right. Well, Garden State is the biggest MLS in New Jersey. It covers the most counties. It will cover all of Union County, Essex County, Somerset, Hunterdon, Sussex, Warren, a lot of counties, like a big chunk, and it pretty much number one MLS that most agents will have. That's your go-to one. But once you start heading out to like Hudson County, then they have their own MLS. Middlesex County has their own MLS. So some of these agents, they don't, you know, they pick which one they want to use. So they'll pick their local one if that's where they're doing most of their business. But there are a ton of MLSs. We have, we just actually added another one to Culture Estate, which is for like Mercer County down there, like all the way Gloucester, all those parts down there. It's called Trend MLS, so we just added that one if anyone has any clients in like Trenton or anything. We have that. We have Hudson. We have the Middlesex. We have Garden State. We have New Jersey MLS, which is like the primary one for like Bergen County and things like that. We then have the also the Hudson County MLS. So there's a ton of MLSs that you guys can take advantage of here. I don't know if I'm missing one. Pretty much all of them.
So the office has a house account?
Well, it's not a house account. Everybody who has either Middlesex MLS or New Jersey MLS can access Realist.
Oh.
You can't just type in realist.com and go in unless there's a subscription basis that I don't know about.
Right.
But if you guys need data from Realist, you just request it from Joelle and we'll grab it. Okay, we'll get it from you guys. I guess we're gonna have to do it that way because the honor system didn't work too well this month and we ran short. So we're gonna go that route and we're gonna get that data for you guys that way if you need it. Okay. What other information did you guys need? Come on, guys. Give me another question. Basic. Don't worry about it. It's okay. If not, I'll have to start asking the questions for Danny.
So what's the difference between the Realist on NJMLS and Matrix? Because I was thinking about getting NJMLS for Realist, but I don't know the difference. So what exactly does Matrix have?
Yeah, Matrix is a real stripped down version of the Realist. They don't even have flood maps on it. They don't have any foreclosure data on it. And today we just looked. They don't even have the mail carrier routes on there. So it's a very, very stripped down.
Yeah.
It's almost just maybe just good for like lot sizes, square foot of the house, and just basic owner information. They hardly have any data, so it's there, it's accurate, but it's not. New Jersey MLS is the best.
Gotcha.
That's the best. It's the best one. So that's.
Sound like a spokesperson for NJMLS.
Yeah.
I wish
Trying to sell it to me online right now.
Other than that, I hate New Jersey MLS. New Jersey MLS is super complicated to use, and their mapping system's the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, this is horrible. But
Why do they have more than one MLS?
well, that's a question everyone's been asking for many, many years.
So how much does it cost to have NJMLS for the year?
I think it's $111 every 6 months.
Every 6
months.
I think it
So
is.
it's
I'm not
a
sure.
little bit more than GMLS.
Yes, they're all neck and neck. They're all very similar to each other. The most expensive one is Middlesex.
Right, Matrix.
Yeah, Middlesex. Yeah, that's the most expensive one because it's a high. It's a sign-up fee. I think also like a monthly fee. I don't remember, something like that.
So I have, since we're asking questions,
Yes.
I have another question about that. Like, I don't personally have access to Garden State. I have someone's password.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been using since forever, and I just never got it. So now I need to get my own.
You used to
Correct.
get, yeah, well, whatever MLS it is that you're gonna wanna use the most stuff. If it's NJ, get NJ. And then I never heard you say the other thing.
Garden State?
No,
What?
no, I never
That
heard
I
you
don't
say.
have my own?
No, I never heard you say you have someone else's password.
Yeah.
They don't like that. They don't like that. Yeah. You know, Hudson County goes one step further and they actually change the password every time that you access it.
What?
Yeah, so, yeah. So you always have to be-
You need that token, right?
Yeah, you need to token.
Do
It
you
changes
know
the password.
what the difference is between the two? Between this one, like this one?
Coverage areas, that's all. Because you're not gonna find the same homes on both MLSs unless it's over in an overlapping area. You understand? Like Maplewood is an overlapping area. So whatever goes in Maplewood has to go in Garden State and in Essex County if the brokerage is a member of both. If the brokerage is only a member of New Jersey MLS, then it only has to go to New Jersey. And while we're on that topic, if you're only a member of one, but your office is a member of both, then it can't go in your name if you're not a member of both. You understand? So for instance, let's give you an example. Let's just say you 123 Main Street at Maplewood, you just took the listing today. You're a member of New Jersey MLS, but you're not a member of Garden State, but the office is, that listing wouldn't be able to go in your name. It would have to go into the broker's name and both MLSs. So that's the way they play. That's why we need one MLS.
Yeah.
One day. So many rules to get you fined, it's incredible. Any other questions?
Just set up.
There's a setup. Yara, for you guys who don't know, Yara's going to be joining us soon. She's taking her classes.
Yeah.
Hi, Yara.
Welcome.
She's a go-getter, so we expect a lot from her soon.
Thank you.
Any questions, Yara, for us? Or anything you've been learning?
I'm
Or?
kind of lost right now.
Mhm.
This is the first time I
Yeah.
see the screen.
We're very technical here when it comes to our approaches, so you're going to see a lot of different technology being used. But after a few times of you doing it, you'll get the hang of it, and you'll see why later on we do these things because it saves you a lot of time. But what have you been learning? Any questions from what you've been learning at school?
It's the not really. I mean, to me, it's just a waste of time going to school because I have the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's how
I
it
learn more when I read the book,
Mhm.
than sitting there and just listening to the lights.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to do the
But I
same
have to
for
do
others.
it, right? I have to go to
Yeah.
the class. So I've been reading a lot on the book, and in the beginning it was very complicated. I was like lost.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm getting
You
it,
getting
and I like it.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, in New Jersey, you still need that classroom 75 hours. In other states, you can do it online. But let's just, we're just so lucky that we don't have to get like a 4-year college degree or something to get that, because then it would be, and you know what, maybe you should, because you can make a lot of money in this business if you do it right. And you're dealing with people's biggest investment in their whole life.
Right.
So, 75 hours may seem like a waste of time, but it could be a lot worse. It could be like, how many credits do you need to graduate college? I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's like 60 just to get your associates.
60, 120.
Just for your associates.
Too much.
And each credit is $1,000. I don't know how much you guys get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've spent like almost 10,000. I've only got like not even 20 credits.
Yeah, you should say that out loud, bro. I got a question.
Sure.
Do the office have like a checklist for new agents when it especially comes for, I have a buyer that's buying a house
Okay.
and I want to make sure I'm on point with everything.
All right. I'm glad you said that. So you guys, everybody has Drive, right?
Yes.
In your Drive, you're gonna have this folder called Real Estate Forms. This is the one you're gonna use the most. It's under Shared with Me. Okay. If you don't have it, let me know. For some reason, I'd shared it with the whole office where it should show up automatically under anyone new. So in Real Estate Forms, you're gonna see another folder that's called Checklists.
Oh.
And in Checklists, you're gonna have any type of transaction you think you might have. So for instance, let's just say you have a contract, right? So it'll show you here what you need to put together a contract, right? Every document that you'll need to put together a contract, right? Once you do that, once you see this, then you'll know you'll have everything you need. But there's another thing too that's called workflow. I think you might be talking about workflow. Workflow tells you,
Which one is that under?
That's under workflow.
No, I'm in the checklist. I see assignment, option, cancel, contract, lease, listing.
Yeah, so back up into
Okay.
real estate forms again. And you're gonna see a folder that says workflow.
It's right there.
Go into the previous,
Go back.
should be the last one.
Yeah, the last one. There you go.
So if you click on workflow, you're gonna see this. I'm working on more workflows now, but this workflow was given to us by Carlos. And he took the time to actually map out everything that's gonna happen to you from start to finish. When you secure your buyer and show them, how much value you bring, all the way through every single step until you get, and look, there's a little checkbox next to it, so this is awesome. Until you get to actually the closing and get a review. I mean, I would put get a review. The only thing is I would put get a review before you actually even do the closing, because the closing can go terrible and they can give you no review. So I would do the review before the closing,
You like?
because they blame you for everything. Okay, so this checklist, guys, is awesome.
That's
It
pretty.
even has a checklist of the documents you need. I'm gonna do the same one for a listing, because listings are an art. It's not just smacking a sign on the lawn. It's a real art. It's an art from the point of you getting it marketed to the point where how you communicate with your client. There's so much to be said about everything that goes through it. So I'm working on that now. So at least you have the buyer's checklist in there now.
It's not pulling up on my phone.
Because it's
What file type?
yeah, because it's an Excel form. So what you need to do is when you access it on your computer, you download it, and your computer will allow you to view it there. Put it on your phone. It's an iOS phone. It won't allow you to do that. It's not going to let you. Okay, so you'll see it there.
Lou, you know what? When I hit on my computer, when I click contract checklist,
Contract checklist?
yeah, it says contract checklist, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's coming up.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, the form, the way that you just had it.
Okay, that's a workflow. So if you go here,
Oh,
it's
okay.
workflow. It's not checklist.
All right.
So checklists are to find out what you need in the file,
Yeah.
okay? And workflow is to find out what you do during the transaction to make sure you got all your bases covered.
Thanks.
Okay, no worries. All right, so while we're here, I'll explain to you guys what we have. We have assignment contracts, right? This is what you would need if you ever put together an assignment contract. What's an assignment contract? That's if someone buys a house, let's say for instance at a sheriff's sale, and they want to sign the bid over, you would use the documents in here. And there's even a video on how to do it. Okay, I'm working on putting a video on every one. Auctions, right? If you have a client that wants to buy a sheriff's sale auction or online auctions, these are the disclosures you need. Okay. If you're representing a buyer, here are all the buyer documents you would need for a buyer. If you're wondering what should I need in a file, this is what you need in every single file that you could possibly have. If you're going to be doing a commission bill or an invoice, it's here as well. One for a seller and one for a buyer. The reason why we have separate invoices is because sometimes the commission is paid by the buyer, not the seller. Okay, so the seller's not giving commission sometimes, but you have to get it from your buyer in that case. Okay, so you have to know the difference. Leases, if you're going to rent something for a client, all the info's there. Listing docs, if you're going to take a listing, they're all here. And I subcategorized another thing that says here a short sale listing. So if you have a short sale listing, here's some additional documentation you're going to need, and what you need to collect from them if you do take the listing. Okay, you're going to need tax returns, pay stub, bank statements, mortgage statement, authorization form, all this stuff. Okay, so there's a lot of things here you're going to need. LLC buyouts, for those of you who don't know what an LLC buyout is a very creative way of transferring the property. It's basically selling the business that owns the property or owns the right to the property. So this is done numerous times. You'll see them a lot floating around here. So these are the documents you'll need for that. Okay, under miscellaneous, we'll have different things like an addendum to a contract, as you guys can see here. The cover that every file will need. So this is basically the info for the parties involved. If you want to go on the Culture Exclusive links, I think we've updated this now. I think Culture Exclusive now has a different link. Let me update this now. For those of you who don't know, we took our Culture Exclusives page and we actually made it another tab in our culture.estate page. So now you don't have to redirect someone to a different website. They can just go here to our website and click exclusive properties, and they'll see them here. Okay, if you need the pricing on those properties, here's the price list. Danny updates it all the time when we put a new property in. And if you need to import a new deal, if you need Danny to put a new deal on for you, so you say, hey, I got this property that the seller wants to give me an exclusive on and doesn't want it on the MLS, Danny, can you put it up for me? Instead of Danny asking you the same 20 questions that he asks everybody before he puts it up, you just open this form and you will, Danny, did you change the thing?
What does it say?
It says the form,
No longer
exclusive
accepting
property,
responses?
no longer accepting responses. Did you
It
max out?
might, it might be because my thing is full.
Okay, yeah. Alright, so what you guys will do is, if you have a new property to input, you would just go here, answer the questions, upload the pictures and the comps, and then Danny will put it up on the site. I'm sorry. If you have a multiple offer situation, there's a multiple offer form here that you would send to the other agent, not if you're the buyer, if you're representing the buyers, but if it's your listing. So if it's your listing and people give you more than one offer, you should give everyone involved in the transaction this notice letting them know that there's multiple offers and that you need them to come with their highest and best by a certain time and date. Okay? If you need to get an escrow released because you're having a closing, or if the deal died, you would have to fill this document out and send it to Joelle. If you want to refer the deal to someone else in the office and collect a referral commission on it, you would fill this out. If you guys want to go 50-50 on the deal, you'd fill this out. But make sure you do it as soon as you put the deal together because everyone catches amnesia when the deal closes.
I have a question. Sir?
Yeah?
Yeah. Would this be the form, so for example, I have someone who's moving from Jersey to Florida,
Yeah.
and she asked me, could I recommend
Another
an
realtor?
agent
Yes.
in Florida for
Yes.
her to
Mhm.
help her find a house? Is this the form that I would use
That's exactly right.
for the whoever it is on the other end?
Yep. And they would sign it and then that obligates the broker to pay you the commission when it's
Yeah, how does that work? What's the
traditional.
Yeah, traditional commission.
When it's a buyer, normally 25%. When it's a listing, it could be as high as 35%.
So I can't take. Oh, so if I refer somebody's gonna sell their house down there,
Mm-hmm.
and I refer them, so that would be the listing, just like it would be here.
Yeah. So if, for instance, if you know somebody in Florida who wants to buy, you're obviously not going to go to Florida or you can't because
Yeah.
you're not licensed there. You would find an agent down there and you would ask them, would you take this buyer for 25% referral? And if they say yes, they sign your form and you're good. If you have a listing, you can ask for 35% because it's less work for them, less time that they're going to spend running around, and it's going to help them get more business. So usually 35% is what I see on listings. You would do the same thing down there.
All right.
If you guys are going to do an open house, there's an open house folder here where it has an open house checklist. So you know what to do before the open house, on the open house day, and after the open house. Okay? That's important. And if you need an open house login sheet, there's a good one here. And you guys should take all these people and put them into your conversion. Or you can use a conversion app at the closing open house and have them put their information right in. Okay, so that's pretty much it for real estate forms. If you guys have any more suggestions on what we can do to improve these, let me know. We're always constantly doing that.
What is the conversion app? What is that?
So you've been on conversion obviously, right? Because we've spent some time. No, we haven't been on conversion yet. Okay. You have.
Maybe we have, but I didn't know that's what it was called.
No. Conversion. We don't have you on conversion yet, Margaret. You might be right. We might not have you on conversion. I meet with so many agents and train them on conversion. I think that everybody's on there. Nope. All right. I'll spend some time with you later today or any other day that you have time, and we'll set you up on conversion. Conversion is our CRM. So once we set you up with this, and you don't need it right now. If you're not ready to do business just yet, you don't need it just now, because there is a fee to use it of $15 a month, more or less. I think that's what it's down to right now. So what it is, it's your client relationship management tool. What it does is it keeps you organized with all your clients. It stays in touch with your clients for you. It does marketing for you if you utilize the right tools here on the side. And it also creates a website and an app for your clients to use so they can search the MLS. So this would be your website. This is what your website would look like. And you would also have an app that you can give your clients. So instead of them searching on Zillow, instead of them searching on Realtor.com and get lost with another agent, they can just search through you and then always see you every time that they look for a property. So this is a really good system. If you were to get this yourself, it's $500 a month. But through the office, since we leverage it through all the agents we have here, it's about $15 a month. So it's really cool. I'm sorry, I thought we set you up on that. There's a reason why I think we were like missing so many things for you. I don't know why. I'm so sorry. All right, any other questions, guys, that I can answer for you? Hopefully I covered that pretty well. Hector, anything you got?
No, sir, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, Katie?
I got a question on multiple offers.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a buyer and we were going for a house and the agent came back and said we had multiple offers.
Yeah.
We had a standard sheet. Is that standard for every firm? The
No.
sheet is told us verbally, like I got multiple.
Yeah.
Like, how can I trust her?
You have. This is the thing. This is funny you say that, but it's true. I mean, a lot of agents could use that because I remember on one of these deals that you had the house was on the market for like a year, and then you made an offer. It was a really good offer, and then they came back and said they had 4 offers
Right.
after the house was on the market for like a year. That's crazy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So.
But I believe it because that's the way real estate is. Sometimes it just happens.
There's
that
no
way.
way you can checks and balance type thing. You can call her. How can I call her on it?
Yeah, what you can do is you say, okay, if there's multiple offers, can you please send me a multiple offer form? And then if they're putting it in writing, or if they're sending you an email.
But she does. She's so
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, if she puts something like that in writing, or she puts something, or she sends you something like that, she's risking losing her license for
Right.
saying that. So
That's what I told
if
the buyers.
if that's the case, shame on her. If she gets caught, that's pretty bad. But I mean, you got to trust them because as realtors, we have to take ethics courses,
Right.
and if they're doing this unethically in the area you're working in, I don't think too many people would do
No,
that.
I thought she was good. I was thinking
Yeah.
about future stuff like
Yeah.
this, scheme.
Yeah, but in some areas, if you're getting a real suspicion on there, like playing games, then you might want to ask for that.
Hey, I have a question for you now that you're speaking in classes.
Mm-hmm.
Do we get notification when our license coming due and what courses we have to take and stuff like
For
that?
CE,
Yeah.
continuing education,
Mhm.
yeah, you'll get a notice. You'll start to get notices from different companies that offer CE, and also from the board, and you will also get emails from us telling you
Yeah.
guys you guys have.
Like it tells you what core and what electives.
Yeah, well, that's up to you what you want to take, but the standard ones you have to take obviously are your ethics and laws, and I forget which other one you have to take. But those are standard, and everything else you can take is optional.
Okay.
All right. I answered you, KD. That was good.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Margaret? Any questions? Come on. Come on. Nothing? All right. You have anything come to your mind? Yeah. How about you, girl? You always got a good question for me.
Nothing right now.
It might be like, how do you solve world hunger or something?
I'm waiting for us to be done so we can go over some
Okay.
title stuff.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
that's way too complex.
Title? Not
Yeah.
really. I think it would be good.
You guys want
Yeah,
to
that'd
go
be a
over
good
that?
question for them.
Yeah, why
Oh
not?
my god, alright, so this is for a short sale that I have, and I think I emailed you the title information in regards to 34 Stony. We spoke about it over the weekday.
34 Stony? Okay.
Yeah, 34 Stony, I think I sent it to you. And then it said title.
Liens?
Liens, yeah, liens,
Okay.
that one. So for that one, the attorney told me that there's 3 tax certificates and 1 judgment. But when I was reviewing it, I only saw 1 sewer lien and a judgment. So I'm not sure if it's hidden somewhere in title and I can't see it, because I need to send it to Jennifer for her to put it in the HUD.
Okay, so is this, you said here you wrote, I see a tax lien of 206 plus interest, water lien, private, sewer lien, 137, and judgment of 2,400.
That was me overlooking a whole bunch of different stuff. So let's look at the actual title. It's on page 27. That was me looking at it high level, and I just saw the numbers that the attorney was discussing, and I was like, okay, I assumed that it was liens. But then after looking at it, I was like, okay, that was paid out. That was paid out.
Okay, Page 27?
Yeah, I put it in red.
What did you? This thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're good.
So I'm not sure of the numbers that I'm supposed to be telling Jennifer for sure.
Usually in these title reports, they tend to
Itemize it?
give you everything in the first few pages of the things that you need to be looking out for. Obviously the bill comes first.
The bill.
Your invoice.
Look out for that first.
So when the attorney read this over, he said that there was some other.
There's 3 tax certificates and 1 judgment, which I see the judgment of the attorney of, I think, 2465, but I couldn't see the tax liens.
The tax liens are in a different route.
I saw a sewer lien of like 206, but I didn't see the other tax certificates.
Yeah, that was in 24.
And this property is in Edison, so when I went on the tax search for Edison, I only saw a sewer lien.
When you run title, guys, they do a flood cert also. So if you ever need something that really confirms whether the home is in a flood area or not, that's like the ultimate word, password. You went through all 102 pages?
Yes. That was on Wednesday night.
So this is like a full title search. Right?
Yeah.
This is full blown.
Did you pay for that?
What's up?
No, the buyer.
The buyer.
How much does tax search cost?
15? What? 1500? What's that? 12. What's the judgment for? 2400.
What was it?
What is it, the judgment for?
Attorney. I think bankruptcy, something with bankruptcy. But from like 2012.
I'm sure it's a bankruptcy because if it's a bankruptcy, they don't have to pay.
Yeah, that's where we're getting a confirmation from, but either way, I'm gonna submit it to the HUD because we're supposed to close in like 2 weeks. So just in case, I want to get the
They're
bill.
gonna pay.
What's up?
That doesn't mean they're gonna pay for it.
I see one already. Did you see this one?
What page is that?
This is page 78. I think you saw this one, 224.
Yeah. Okay.
There's another one after that. Yeah, they're all grouped together.
So what is the exact number that I'm supposed to give Jennifer?
You can't, you gotta order redemption certificates. So for those of you guys who don't know, if you see that there's a tax lien on the property, and you see something like this that says like, $302 or whatever, this here, for sewer, and cost of the sale is 65, premium paid, or whatever. So, this is, so what you need to do is you need to call the municipality and ask for redemption certificates, and they'll give you what's owed now. So once you get that, then you know what to ask for. So you're gonna need to order redemption certificates on all of those liens, anything that's municipal, and it's been paid for by someone else, you need to order those.
Is that would that be considered like an over request or no?
In some towns they may ask you, but not really, because if you're looking to pay them off,
Mm-hmm.
then I've never heard of anyone asking for it. Okay? I'll see you, Margaret. Have a good one.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Where would I be able to watch this later?
It'll be on our YouTube or Facebook page.
Thank you.
All right.
So is the sewer lien already paid out or?
Has it been paid for?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been paid for by someone else.
Okay, so then that
It's
also
still
has to
owed.
be part of it.
Yeah, it's been paid. But you shouldn't be, anyone here should not be doing the title company's job or the attorney's job. You should just get on the phone and within 10 minutes, they should be emailing you
I've been
back.
waiting for, let me not talk bad, but.
Then you should call Foundation Title
Yeah, okay.
or call them. If the attorney's not cooperating, someone else needs to because you're gonna miss something.
Yeah.
You're not a title expert,
Uh-huh.
neither am I. So we're gonna miss something. It's better for them to tell you, hey, outline
Exactly.
for me what I gotta take care of.
Okay, gotcha.
Because these people don't get paid until it's closes.
Anyway, yeah. Alright, cool.
Alright. Anyone else?
That's good.
Alright guys, what do you guys wanna hear about next week? Anything, any topics you guys wanna cover? If not, we'll have to do some Q&A sessions. So if you guys during the week, if you guys come across some things that you want more info on, just write it down. And then we'll discuss it in a month, when you guys come back next week. Because this is open forum, so it's whatever you guys want. Alright? Alright, thank you guys.
Dude, I do have something.
Huh?
I do have something, but
Be careful, careful there. Get too close to the camera.
Easy went off camera.
What's up?
yeah.